Hello, everyone. I'm Hillary Walsh, your immigration lawyer friend and advocate, the scrappy fighter who goes to court in USCIS and stands next to our brave clients. And I'm here joining you from Phoenix, Arizona today. I want to talk to you today about the never give up spirit that is coursing through the blood of every single person who is an immigrant in this country. Every single person I've ever met who is an immigrant in this country has one thing in common, and it's the attitude of, I'm not going to give up. Nothing is going to stop me. I can do this. It's something that we call it the American dream, and we call it just being American. It's because this country, other than the natives who were already here, this country was founded and is today the country that it is because of immigrants, and because of that, I'm not going to give up. No one can stop me spirit. And here's how we apply that in New Frontier Immigration Law, my law firm in Phoenix, Arizona, where I'm here to serve you and help take that never give up spirit and push it into your immigration case in a place where sometimes if you don't have a lot of that, you will give up and you will go home and you will have a lot of regret left in your life, and nobody wants that. I got my start as an immigration lawyer, as an appeals attorney. So what that means is that someone had already been ordered removed. An immigration judge had already said, no, I'm ordering you deported. You don't get to stay in this amazing country that you have been in for possibly decades. You have to go back to your home country. You're not allowed to stay. And then I come in. And I have, to my knowledge, the absolute best appeal record of any other immigration lawyer that I've ever known. And that's not to say it's a little bit bragging. I think we all like to brag a little bit, right? But what it is to say is that I'm not an immigrant because I was born and raised in a little town in Kansas. But I, too, have the spirit of, if you believe, if you have faith that this is what's supposed to work for you, then I'm not going to leave anything on the table. I'm going to go to the mat and I'm going to fight and I'm going to find a way to help you. And when you take that belief and you have that faith and you have that person doing an appeal for you, miracles can happen. We've had some really incredible cases, and I want to share a few of those success stories with you. But the reason it's so important when you're finding an immigration lawyer and you're trying to decide, is this the right person for me? The reason that I think that I am uniquely positioned to help someone who's been told no before, not only do I have about a decade of experience fighting those cases and winning them, but I also love going to the table and saying, we will fight for you. Even when things look dark and like you have been told no many times by many people before, we will find a way, because there's always a way if you still have the faith and the hope and you can see that it can happen. There's a way to continue fighting. So last week, for example, I got my first denied waiver. I've done many, many waivers, and that's basically in Espanol es perdón, for people who have been in the country without permission and left, or perhaps they came and they presented false documents. Lots of reasons that you need a pardon waiver or forgiveness. And last week, we filed an appeal because we had done an amazing job on this waiver for a Canadian woman and her American husband, and it was denied. And we said, well, we can keep trying. We could file this again and give you more evidence, or we can just say, no, the law is the law. It should not be impossible to be able to immigrate to this country. So let's fight it. And we did. All we had to do, and this is where sometimes it feels like miracles happen, is I knew so strongly that this was the right path to go down. We filed just the notice of appeal, and 2 weeks later, we got her green card in the mail. We didn't even have to file a brief. The government was wrong, and they recognized that, and they didn't require us to go through the long process of appealing. And simply sending this letter and this notice in saying that we were going to appeal the denial got her her green card. There have been other cases where it's simply miraculous. And if you're someone who you have been ordered removed, or you're about to go back to immigration court, or maybe your case is pending with the Board of Immigration Appeals and it's been there for a long time, and you're kind of waiting for the other foot to drop, and you're worried, what's going to happen if I get told no? You're watching this today so that you can hear me say this. Don't give up. Don't pack anything up. Go back to the locker room. It's halftime, and we're going to go back and we're going to dominate the second half. So the way that here's a couple different situations. I just described what happens if you're told no at USCIS. You appeal it. You appeal it to USCIS, okay? And then if you're told no at the immigration court level, similarly, you appeal it, but it goes to the Board of Immigration Appeals. You kind of start with the immigration court, and then you go to the Board of Immigration Appeals. And if you're told no there, you can go to the Circuit Court of Appeals, okay? And while you're at the Circuit Court of Appeals, that can take several years. It usually takes several years at the Board of Immigration Appeals, and it has probably taken you many years to get through the immigration court process. So just that time alone allows for new laws or policies to be changed, for new avenues for relief to become available for you. Perhaps your kid is going to turn 21 during that time, or another family member is going to get status. Lots of different things can happen during that time while your case is on appeal. And that's just the time aspect of it. Don't give up. Reach out to us if you have any questions, especially if you're about to go to immigration court. What's amazing right now is we can advocate for you in ways that were not available a year or even 2 years ago. So reach out to New Frontier Immigration Law if you are in this position. Don't go it alone, and most importantly, don't give up. You came to this country, you're here because you already have the ingredient. The ingredient is within you, and it says, I'm not going to give up. A desert will not separate me. So I will leave you with that. You have the ingredient. You have the faith that you can do this. And if you believe that with your immigration case, you can win, we're going to be able to help you. I can't make promises that everything is going to go perfectly, but what I can say is that you will live a life knowing you did everything you could with New Frontier Immigration Law. I hope you all have an amazing night and have a wonderful rest of your week. There's so much to be grateful for, and if you have an immigration case hanging over your head, now is the time to get this problem solved. Call New Frontier Immigration Law today.